Zaji, and I think it's fair to say that Season 10 has been a bit of a letdown for a lot of players out there, mainly due to the mech's introduction, turbo building being ruined for a short amount of time, and the lack of a new map, which a lot of people were excited for. However, on Thursday night, out of nowhere, Epic Games pushed through a hotfix that will have a huge impact on how the game is played, with the combat shotgun and drum shotgun both vaulted. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at the impacts this will have on the game, and why I think this could potentially be the best thing that could have happened to Fortnite during Season 10. Now, the combat shotgun being vaulted is something I've been asking for quite some time now, and it seems that I'm not the only one, as when the vaulting was announced, many well-known players took to Twitter to show just how happy they were. Tfue said, "The combat shotgun got vaulted, let's go." And then you had Cypher PK, who said, "Combat and drum shotgun vaulted? Oh my god." And then you have Liquid Chap, who said, "This new hotfix looks like Epic is actually starting to listen," which is a +1. So it's clear that he was very happy about the change. However, although the change was generally met with positive feedback, unsurprisingly, not everyone was happy about it. You had Mongrel, who said, "Vaulted my favourite shotgun, unvaulted my favourite AR. Win or lose." And with him saying just a couple days ago that the combat was the most skillful shotgun, I think it's fair to say he was disappointed. And yeah, I also loved using it, don't get me wrong, but it was way too strong. It was a near flawless weapon that took very little skill to use and completely dominated the game ever since it was introduced. By holding this weapon, it made every single player a threat due to its fire rate, damage and range. It didn't even matter whether you had good aim, as the combat's fire rate was able to compensate for a player's lack of accuracy, meaning players could miss multiple shots and still kill someone incredibly quickly. Also, with the fire rate so high, it made it very difficult to defend against, so it was possible for someone to almost instantly kill you, even if you had 50 shield, just as long as your opponent hit 2 quick body shots, which wasn't difficult. What this meant is that the combat completely overpowered every other shotgun in the game, even the pump, which had been vaulted not long ago for being too dominant. So now, with the combat vaulted, it makes every other shotgun automatically more effective, as they won't be coming up against the combat anymore. However, thankfully, one shotgun that we won't be having to rely on is the drum, as it was also vaulted with the combat. Ever since its introduction, it's become a bit of a meme weapon, due to it being absolutely terrible from any sort of range, and being horribly common. If you've played Fortnite since it was in the game, you'll know exactly just how common it was, and will have died many times due to not having a better shotgun. Although it did fire insanely quick, you'd be commonly hitting under 20 base damage as soon as you got any sort of distance away from your opponent. And that's because the drum was best utilised when right in front of someone's face, which naturally isn't something you want to be doing in Fortnite, as you're likely to receive a lot of damage in the process. This makes the drum unusable for a lot of players out there. In fact, it was a shotgun mainly liked by low skill kamikaze players. Although that's not to say it wasn't effective in these situations, as it certainly was. If someone was right in your face with a drum, then it was really difficult to defend against, as the fire rate was so high, it even dealt high damage to structures. And with there being a larger than usual clip size, it meant that players wouldn't need to hit all of the shots to do a lot of damage, just as long as they're using it from the right range. Therefore, the drum shotgun was unique in the sense that it was borderline useless most of the time, whilst being overpowered and unskillful when used right in front of someone's face. So it really had no place being in the game. And I'm delighted that Epic finally decided to vault it. And with both the combat and drum shotguns removed from the game, it means that fights will no longer be determined by who has a combat or who has a drum. Like before, how many times would you lose a fight and think, well, I was always going to lose that. I had a drum shotgun, or the other way around. I was always going to lose that. My opponent had a combat, and I didn't. And suddenly, this makes close range fights way more skill based, and reduces the impacts of RNG in the game, which for me will make the game way less frustrating. I've been desperate for this change for ages now, but I really didn't even think Epic would even be considering it, as it helps to bridge the gap between low skill players and high skill players, which we all know Epic likes, as shown by what they've said previously about the mechs. Although most will say that the brutes being nerfed would have been a more important change, and I can understand that. as I consider this to be almost as big a deal. But even though the mechs are annoying, with Fortnite lowering the spawn rate, there aren't enough on the map for you to encounter them that often. Whereas you're near enough guaranteed to encounter a drum shotgun or a combat every single game. And if engagements involving these shotguns feel unsatisfying, then that has a huge impact on Fortnite as a whole. So with the combat and drum vaulted, this leaves Fortnite back to having only 2 shotguns in the game, the pump and the tac. And although the pump did used to dominate over the tac before, I think we're now in a situation where we have 2 closely balanced shotguns. Naturally, high skilled players are more likely to gravitate towards the pump due to its higher burst damage and decent enough range, but with the tac buffed in Season 8 and the epic and legendary variants introduced, the tac has never been better. And although they might not have the one-tap capability that the blue pump has, it's still viable and not completely useless in comparison, like it has been in the past. If you have a tac now, you'll no longer have to worry that your opponent might have a combat, so you will stand a chance, regardless of what shotgun your opponent has. Close range engagements are the bread and butter of Fortnite. They determine the outcome of most fights. Therefore, making a core part of the game healthier, balanced, and ultimately more rewarding is crucial for Fortnite's continued success. So I'm glad Epic are trying to improve this aspect of gameplay. Neither the pump nor the tac are particularly overpowered. Both have the strengths and both have the weaknesses. They're pretty balanced and able to fit different playstyles, which is hugely important for a game like Fortnite. My only issue is that I do think that the close range meta is a little bit boring now, with there only being 2 shotguns in the game again. So I do hope that Epic don't give up on adding any more new shotguns, as I really do think that would be a mistake. I just hope they won't be as overpowered and dominant as the combat, and not as trash and frustrating as the drum. But I guess we'll find out more over the next few weeks. So, what do you think of the changes? Will you be sad to see either of them go? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you want to support me as a content creator, then feel free to use my creator code, which is on screen now. So anytime you buy something in the item shop and use my code, it will go directly towards supporting the channel, which would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for more. And I'll see you next time for another video. Goodbye.